my opinion, I feel that Austin's probably the #1 best place to be here within all of America. Why? It's the atmosphere, gentlemen. It's the energetics of the place. Just like I prefer to be in Asia because it's more harmonious. I feel exactly the same here about Austin, Texas. I believe it is the #1 best big city in America, bar none. Now, it's on the decline. It used to be better, but this is the live music capital of the world. So in order for a place to flourish and have incredible live music, you must have a pretty open, eclectic, interesting community, right? So it's hot out here, gentlemen. It's about 107 degrees at the moment, believe it or not. And wow, the water just comes right out of your body when you're here. But today, gentlemen, I don't really want to talk about Austin so much. However, I do prefer it as my favorite place to be here within America. But what I really want to focus on is the very best places within all of Asia. And in my opinion, where are those best places? We've got some strong wind at least, right, gentlemen? So, for me, here within America, you've got Austin. Not really a big fan of Hawaii. The atmosphere is just too uptight. It's too aggressive. Within Asia, gentlemen, now if you like Latin women, Central and South America might work for you. It's definitely a lot more dangerous. If you like Eastern European women, then those countries might work for you. However, for me, I prefer Asian women, and I also do genuinely prefer Asian food. I love Japanese food, I love Thai food, I love Vietnamese food, and I love Korean food. And so it's easy for me to choose Asia over these other countries, or these other neck of the woods, or these other parts of the world, rather, gentlemen. So within Asia, the very best places, I'm gonna name off 5 to 7 places, gentlemen. The very, very best places now I'll just start with East Asia. East Asia is not where you're gonna have the highest quality of life per se, not where you're gonna meet the most interesting people, but it is a more refined type of society there within China, Korea, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and Japan, which is my favorite of the East Asian countries, the more robust, more financially prosperous, more refined countries there within Asia. So Japan would definitely be my favorite place, culturally speaking. But let's just move on to the whole point of this video, gentlemen. The best places within all of Southeast Asia, which is where you will find the highest quality of life. Not only one, because you'll have the community, your money will go the furthest, whatever money or assets you have, whatever business you have, the cash is going to go much, much further. And there's just more of a harmonicness in the air. Spiritually, you'll just feel better being there. And all right, gentlemen, here we go. #1. Now, these are in no particular order, but #1, Chiang Mai, Thailand. Chiang Mai, Thailand is a city, but it's a small enough city that you can get everywhere. You can walk around, you can easily get into nature. You've got some of the most amazing food from all different types from the entire world, right? And super high quality. And there are people from all around the world, and it's so easy to meet folks there. Everyone's walking around or they're on scooters, so it's effortless to meet folks on a day-to-day basis. And very close to Chiang Mai, there is another of what could very well fit on these top 5, and that is Pai, Thailand. Pai, Thailand is about 3 hours north of Chiang Mai, and it is a very, very humble, quaint, quiet, not so quiet, rice paddy town with probably the best live music within all of Asia. And It's a very, very small town. Half of the people who are there are tourists. So 50% of the population on any given day are tourists, if not 80%. And there's a river that runs through town. There's many bamboo walking bridges, live music every night. And then also every single night, there is a market, a night market. And at that night market, you have all different types of food that you could possibly imagine. And then anyone and everyone who is in town that particular night will be there at the night market. Also great live music, some fires, some bonfires, and plenty of hashish going around, etc., etc. Really effortless and easy to meet folks there. That's why I love it. Also, you can easily take a motorcycle straight up into the mountains, do off-road, dirt bike riding, and that's absolutely incredible as well. So I love Pai, Thailand. I've spent a good couple of months there. I've never probably been there more than 10 days at a time, but it's a type of place that I feel I could live. There's also really wonderful hot springs there, and just so many wonderful aspects to Pai, Thailand. All right, gentlemen, on to number 3. This will be within Thailand as well. That is Koh Phangan Island. Now, this Koh Phangan Island is where the infamous, famous full moon party takes place once a month on the full moon. However, there is another part of the island, they call it the quiet part of the island, where there are a plethora of vegan restaurants, conscious community, etc., etc. And every single evening there is a sunset drum circle. So it's quite eclectic, very lively, and again, really easy to meet folks, really easy to meet strangers and whatnot. So Koh Phangan is absolutely beautiful. You can scooter around the whole island, and it's easily jump into the water. It's got some crystalline, clear turquoise water, easy snorkeling, and amazing food, of course. Just one of these places that is true paradise, like you could imagine, right? All right, gentlemen, now let's jump down to Indonesia. Bali, Indonesia, one of my favorite places in the entire world, where you'll find the strongest yoga community, conscious health communities in the world. Nowadays there are a massive number of Russian folks there, so the energy of the place has changed a little bit. A lot of these Russian people are really cool, by the way, but there's a great mix of people from all around the world, and I would say at this point in time it's a bit overrun. There's just too many people on the island, so moving to and from one place to the next is probably like the most frustrating aspect of being in Bali. However, Bali's not just Bali. Bali is made up of all these different towns, and some of the most popular tourist towns would be Canggu, Uluwatu, Seminyak, Kuta, and Ubud. And for me, Ubud is where I have a community. My favorite cafe is one called Sayuri's Healing Food Cafe, and I go there every evening. And I could not have been there for a year. I can show up and somebody I haven't seen in 3, 4, 5 years is there, along with somebody else, along with somebody else, along with somebody else. So it's this unwritten, unplanned community there within Ubud, where people show up and they keep circulating back. And it seems that if I go there, by the way, Ubud means healing in the local language, and that's very much what it is. It's a healing type of environment. And again, very, very easy to meet folks. So absolutely incredible. Your money doesn't go as far in Bali as it would in Thailand, but it's not far behind. And if you look around, you can get some good deals. I have about 20 Airbnbs in Bali at this point, and they all do pretty well. I will say this as well, gentlemen, the most beautiful girls probably within all of Asia are probably hands down the Koreans. And Korean culture is quite complex. They're quite a closed society per se, but just keep in mind, gentlemen, just be aware that a vast majority of those girls do have plastic surgery as well. So you're not always getting what you think you're getting. They're not as much into the transitioning of sexes like they are in Thailand per se, so you don't have to worry about that aspect. But it's a harsh place to make it, in my opinion, gentlemen. And all the expats and folks that I know from around, they all say the same thing. It's not the friendliest place, not the greatest air quality, not the nicest living conditions, and your money doesn't go nearly as far. So I know this is jumping around Asia, pardon me, but you know, I don't recommend Korea for the long term. All right, moving on. Outside of Bali, about a 45-minute boat ride, to a 45 minute to an hour and a half, depending on what port you leave from. You can pay $10 to $12 and you'll get a van will pick you up in the morning, take you to the port, and get you to the island, includes the ferry ride, all for about, yeah, like I said, 12 bucks. But it'll take you anywhere from, well, by the time they pick you up, it ends up taking probably 3.5, 4 hours. But you're there on what you call the Gili Islands. There's 3 islands. You have Gili Air, you have Gili T, and you have Gili Meno. Gili Meno is very underdeveloped. Gili T is very much a party island, probably the one you want to go first. And then Gili Air is a little bit of a party island, but it's very tranquil and relaxed and chill. For myself, I love Gili T, just absolutely love it. You can bicycle around the entire island. By the way, everyone's bicycling. There's no car or petrol on the entire island, right? And you can bicycle around the entire island in just about 45 minutes flat. So absolutely epic. Turquoise water, you jump in the water, you're swimming with the sea turtles, you'll see them every day. Coral reefs, glass bottom boats, tours snorkeling, tours diving, etc., 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 to infinity. Great food, great live music. They've got hundreds, if not thousands, of bean bags laid out across all the different beaches, and they do live movies every night along with live DJ sets, etc., etc. It's very much like a festival, but it's every day. They don't allow petrol onto the island. There's plenty of money and investment into those islands, but they tend to get everyone around when they first arrive to the island by horse and carriage. So you load up your suitcases by horse and carriage. They escort you to your hotel. And by the way, there's some incredible accommodation on these islands. And then you tend to rent a bicycle generally from the hotel you're at, and about $2 a day, and you're off, and you're free. And it's super dark at night, so you can see all the stars. It's really, genuinely paradise. It's absolutely incredible. By the way, they have mushrooms there if you so should want to partake. All right, gentlemen. Now, in order to do Airbnb or any type of business within Indonesia, you do need to follow proper protocol, and you do need to have a business license. Just a disclaimer, gentlemen. Don't want everyone to pile on the bandwagon and start, doing the Airbnb thing there without permission. All right, onward and upward, gentlemen. So, my favorite large-scale big city within all of Asia is most certainly Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. The lifestyle that can be had there, the quality of life and the dynamism that is there, and the mixture of cultures, races, ethnicities, people, folks, it's very nice. And there tends to be a lot of respect. As Andrew Henderson says from Nomad Capitalist, go where you're treated best. It's one of the most friendly big cities in the world. In many parts of the world, you may not get a lot of respect there for whatever reason. I've always got the utmost respect, and I've always been treated really, really well, really graciously. And I will say this, for a large-scale city, it is most likely where you'll get the very most bang for your buck. That goes for all of Malaysia, and the accommodation, the food, etc. Very, very nice city living. I mean, basically, gentlemen, like 5-star residences, 52, 60-story buildings, you can rent out a 1-bedroom apartment for $700 a month. Infinity pool on the rooftop, multiple gyms, multiple massive pools, etc., etc. 5-star residences, $700 a month. Now, if you get those on Airbnb, of course you're paying more. If you get them long term, 6 months or more, you could stand to get them for $700 a month, gentlemen. My favorite large-scale city, and there are people from all over the world, so they also speak great English. And I will say this about Malaysia: that is the one place within all of Asia that I feel most at home. Where, last time I was in Malaysia, I rented a car and I didn't even have to, well, I did show my license, but it was expired. I didn't have to leave a credit card or anything, and they trusted me. I'm treated well there. Things are effortless, easy, and quality of life can't be beat. But I will say, when I'm driving a car there, I'm not like a farang or a foreigner. I feel as though I'm just like anybody else on the road. And there's a lot of people that look like me or him or her or Shim or whoever, right? And they live there as well. And so there's such a diverse mixture of folks there that you're not seen as a foreigner just because you are. Like Japan, like Korea, like Thailand, like Vietnam, etc. In Malaysia, I just feel that you're more accepted, and the Malaysian people are amazing. Everyone in Malaysia is amazing. Can't say enough about that country. So it's the one country I feel maybe most at home. Probably the best base, probably the best place to buy any real estate. It's one of 4 countries within Asia that you can actually purchase real estate and own the land, not just the building per se. So if you wanted to do that, you could. They do have certain visa programs that if you purchase a home somewhere in the range of $300,000, maybe $350,000, that you can be given a visa by doing so. All right, gentlemen, let's move out of Malaysia. Let me just share a couple stories, gentlemen. Last time I was there, I raced on multiple different go-kart tracks multiple times. It was absolutely amazing. They've got so many golf driving ranges there. The residences can't be beat. They are absolutely amazing, and the price point is like 15% of the cost of what it would be in New York or Singapore. Maybe 8%. It's just unbelievable what you get. The price per value, I've even been on the Formula One racetracks, Sepang, riding Formula One, or riding super bike spec, professional spec super bikes on the Formula One track there. A lot has been extended to me. I've also hung out with various folks from various royal families where I've just been courted and made to feel at home in Malaysia. So can't say enough good things about Malaysia. All right. Where else? Vietnam, gentlemen. My favorite place within Vietnam is a city called Da Nang. Well, you'd fly into Da Nang, and Da Nang is nice. It's on the beach, so it's a city on the beach. You can access it via flight. It's an international airport. However, my absolute favorite place is actually Hoi An. And Hoi An is it's a rice paddy town. It's a river town, really, where it's just super ancient. It's a World Heritage Site. The various bridges that they have there in town, some of them are built by the Chinese, some of them may be built by the Japanese. It's a really, really eclectic place, and it's famous for its canoe/riverboat rides and letting off of prayer lanterns every evening. You've got an amazing mix of food, and everybody bicycles around. However, it does get pretty hot. But you can bicycle all the way to the beach, and if you do make it to Hoi An and you make it to the beach, my favorite restaurant there is La Plaga, which I believe is like the beach in French, if I'm not mistaken. The place is amazing though. All right, let's jump out of Vietnam. Now, I don't recommend Ho Chi Minh. It's not my favorite city. However, the cafes are good. Same thing for Hanoi. Don't really recommend it. The air quality is not the best. However, the cafes are cool. Some cool walking streets and stuff like that. Maybe worth a quick visit. And then I haven't been to any of the other major cities thus far. Haven't been to any of the islands off the coast of Vietnam yet thus far either. All right, gentlemen, so we went over Thailand, we went over Malaysia. Now, I didn't mention Penang in the north, and I didn't mention, Johor Bahru. Iskandar Puteri is the area that I stayed. I mean, I'm literally looking at Singapore. I'm just a couple hundred meters from it, maybe 600 meters from where I stayed across the river or the waterway. The canal was Singapore, so I could literally swim there. You know, I'm not the biggest fan of Singapore. I feel like it's grimy, just kind of rough city. It's got some very strong undertones. It's got some strong gangs as well. People don't realize that, but they're definitely there. Overall, it's just way overpriced for what you get. And you can just bounce over to Malaysia and you get just as much or more for a fraction of the price. So quality of life is 10x just across the bridge in Iskandar Puteri, Johor Bahru. They've also got some amazing, the very best malls in the world in Malaysia, by the way. The biggest malls, the best malls in the world. And if you're not a fan of malls, that's okay. These are Asian malls, are a bit different, and I think you'd like it. You can wander through there and grab all kinds of good stuff any given time you like. All right, okay, so we went over Malaysia pretty well. We went over my favorite spots. We lost track of how many I've gone over here. I think we're closer to 10, right? But we've got Bali, Indonesia. We've got Gili, the Gili Islands. Now, the Gili Islands is a place where you could build like anything in the world. It's like a Peter Pan Wonderland kind of place where you could literally build your own community and create the Shangri-La per se, right? It's amazing. So you got Bali, you've got the Gili Islands, you've got in Malaysia, you've got Kuala Lumpur, my favorite big city, you've got Penang in the north, also nice. I don't like Penang because they don't let you freely get in the water without harassing you. So it's if you're in the city part. So not my favorite, but I still do like it. Guys, I know I jump all over the place. I just want to mention that the climbing gyms in Malaysia are top-notch, best in the world, and best bang for your buck once again. All right, let's go ahead and, you know, I did mention Iskandar Puteri, so we'll just go ahead and count them all. Bali, Gili Islands, Kuala Lumpur, Penang, Johor Bahru, Iskandar Puteri. All right, that's 5. We've got Chiang Mai, Thailand. Skip Bangkok, not the place, gentlemen, trust me, unless you're just after prostitution. Skip the Philippines as well. Humble opinion, don't recommend it. There's some good people there, but don't recommend it. Not the highest quality of life, and grimy, kind of like Central and South America. Too dangerous. All right, I've said Chiang Mai, Pai, Thailand, and then what was it? Koh Phangan, Thailand in the south, the island where they do the big full moon party. So that's 8. And then we've got Vietnam, we've got Da Nang, and then we've got Hoi An, right? So does that cover everything? I think it does. Now, if you wanted to do a bicycle journey, gentlemen, just random, you know, throw it out there. Taiwan is probably the best country within Asia where you could just do a bicycle journey. Absolutely amazing. Beautiful women, very peaceful, humble. English proficiency is pretty decent as well. In Japan, you're not going to find much English, you know, though it's a very sophisticated and refined culture. You just won't find a very high proficiency of English in Japan. You'll find more so in Taiwan. But then all these Southeast Asian countries, believe it or not, you know, you'll meet just as many people from around the world, as well as, say, Japanese, Korean, Taiwanese, Chinese women or people, folks, whatnot. You'll meet them more, in my opinion, more effortlessly in those Southeast Asian countries than you will in the country that they're actually from. Go figure. And that has to do with the fact that when women are traveling, they're not as uptight they're more at ease than they would be in their home country. You know, I've known women in Korea have told me that they subconsciously know, or they consciously know, that there's always cameras on them. So they're never really free to interact. So if you've ever wondered why it's so hard to talk to women in Korea, now you know. So yeah, gentlemen, that about covers the best places here within Asia. I know it's a tangent. I'm just getting back into the YouTube again. So I hope that it was somewhat informative. If you'd like to set up a call with me, a session, and if you're seeking the love of your life, gentlemen, and you want to have a consultation, you want to get set up somewhere within Asia, or if you want to do a tour of all of Asia, then feel free to reach out. I know all the best places. I know all the very, very, very best cafes, where the coolest people go, where the most beautiful women are at. And, you know, I know the owners of these cafes. I know the good spots, gentlemen. I can keep us away from the bar scene and still have a great time, if you know what I mean. So if you're looking for something that's holistic, harmonious, pure, and you want to meet the love of your life, reach out and we'll have a consultation and we can go from there, gentlemen. How can you find me? Well, I should be listing in the show notes here just below. I'll list some way in which you can contact me, gentlemen, whether it's via email or a new Instagram. I tend not to like to jump on Instagram. I'm not a big fan of it. But I think I'm gonna get more into my social media these days. I've got a little bit more time, etc., etc. So, coming at you from Austin, Texas. It's also a great spot within the U.S. However, in my opinion, gentlemen, let me just say, I do believe that the U.S. is on the decline. There's a massive number of meth heads here in Austin, just like there are many of the big cities within America. And these cultures are going downhill. Drugs are not as big of a thing in most parts of Asia, outside of marijuana and Thailand. Big deal, right? So, gentlemen, stay sharp, stay healthy. Do not be a slave to your lust. Keep your wisdom, gentlemen. Know what it is you want. Stay spiritually strong, and we'll see you in the next one, all right? All right, guys. Peace, gentlemen.